Hi lovelies, let's make egusi soups. So for this soup we're going to be needing some turkey, ugu leaves, mackerel fish, onions and iru, also known as locust beans, grounded egusi and also blended peppers. So for the blended peppers I've used bell pepper and onions only for the bell pepper. So in a pot, add your palm oil. I didn't add a lot of palm oil because I didn't want a lot of palm oil in it. So add the palm oil and wait until it's hot. So once it's hot, then we'll add in our onions and our locust beans, also known as iru. So when I've added that in, I'll stir it in, just making sure it's all combined. Then here what I'm just doing is mixing my egusi with some water, just forming in a thick paste. So normally I would add in just grounded crayfish powder as well in it to mix it. So and then I'll mix in my onions and iru together just to make sure it's not burning. What I'm just doing here is adding my egusi, so I'm just adding it in like I'm frying a car. So what I want to achieve is to make sure that it kind of like cooks, it fries. So and then once it's fried, and then I'll just fry it again on the other side just to do the same thing, just to make sure it's fried. So this was actually my mom's recipe, so she taught me how to make egusi this way. Once it's properly fried, it gives you like this distinctive taste at the end. So I'm just frying it again on both sides. And then now just scramble it, just like you're scrambling an egg. And then just scramble it, making sure all the sides are fried and making sure it's all combined. So here I added in more egusi I mixed it with water and added in more, that's why the color is like that. So now I'm gonna add in my blended peppers. So like I said earlier, it's just bell pepper and onions. I'm gonna add that in, mix it all together, making sure it's all combined. Then after it's all combined, I'm just gonna cover that to cook for a while. So once it's all cooked, I'm just gonna add in my seasoning. So I added Knorr cubes, and then I added in my all-purpose seasoning. I added in some paprika as well. I added in, oh no, I didn't add in paprika, sorry. I added in some chili powder, and then I added in some crayfish powder. So once all this is in, I'll mix it all together, making sure it's all combined. And then I'll just cover just to cook a little bit, just to make sure everything is all combined. Then I'm just gonna add in water just to cook it all together. So once I add in enough water to cook it, so it just depends on how runny or how thick you want it to be. So I just wanted it to be in the middle, so I just added medium water, I guess, in it. And then I'll just mix it all together. Then again, cover it to cook. So I cooked it for about 10 minutes on a low heat, making sure I'm not putting too much heat in it, if not it's just gonna cook in a hurry. So I just cover it to cook on a low heat. Then now I'm adding in my mackerel fish. So for this mackerel fish, you can add it at the end after you've done all of it, just to make it sure it's all combined, but I just chose to do it this So once my mackerel fish is almost cooked, not fully cooked, I'll add in my turkey. So adding the turkey, just make sure it's well combined with the egusi. So now what I'm doing is I'm taking out the mackerel fish. So if you don't want to go through this hassle, just add in the mackerel fish at the end. So I don't know why I did it this way, but you can also do it this way. I just felt like doing it this way. I'm taking out the mackerel so it doesn't break, or so my mackerel doesn't overcook. So once I've taken out the mackerel, then I'll go in with my ugu leaf, so I'll spread that in. So this is the main reason why I took out my mackerel fish, because if I left it in, I'd have to mix the soup and then I'll end up breaking the fish in the soup, and I don't want that. So I took out all the mackerel fish and then I sprinkled my ugu leaves on it. So once I've sprinkled that on, I'll mix it all together, making sure it's all combined. So then I'll cover it again to cook, and then now I'll just add in my mackerel fish again. So once the soup is almost done, once the soup is basically done, I'm adding in my mackerel fish just to make sure everything is all combined again. Then I'll just cover it again just to basically see them. So at this point it's on a very low heat. So now once the oil starts floating on the egusi soup, that's when you know it's done. So I'm just serving it now with pando. So I pounded yam. So I actually used actual yam for the pounded yam. So I just boiled yam and then I blended using a food processor. So that was how I made the pounded yam. So I'm just serving the soup now. Hope you enjoy watching the video, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Bye, guys.